There's a moment that happens between a man and a woman that most people completely miss. It's not sexual, it's not obvious, and it doesn't happen in the bedroom. But when it does happen, everything changes. Because in that moment, she's told you without saying a single word that her walls are down, that she feels safe, that emotionally, she's already let you in. Before we dive in, take 1 second to support this channel. Tap that like button, subscribe so you don't miss my future videos, and let me know in the comments, where are you watching from today? I love seeing men from all over the world building this community of strength and support. Most men are looking for green lights in all the wrong places. They're watching for eye contact, waiting for the right text, hoping for some verbal confirmation that she's interested. And meanwhile, they miss the most honest signal she can possibly give. It's not her lips, it's not her waist, it's not even her hand. It's something deeper, something tied to vulnerability, trust, and emotional exposure. And once you understand what it means, you'll stop chasing and start recognizing when a woman has already chosen you. Here's what you're going to learn in this video. First, I'm going to show you the one part of a woman's body that reveals her emotional state more clearly than anything she could ever say, and why most men ignore it entirely. Second, you're going to understand the psychological reason why allowing this kind of touch is one of the deepest forms of trust a woman can show, and why it has almost nothing to do with physical attraction. And third, I'm going to walk you through the 3 emotional triggers that have to be present before she even allows this to happen. These triggers aren't tricks. They're not tactics. They're the foundation of every real connection, and they separate men who understand women from men who spend years guessing. This isn't pickup theory. This is psychology, human behavior. The kind of understanding that completely changes how you show up, not just with women, but in every relationship that matters. And stick around, because toward the end, I'm going to explain why the men who understand this dynamic rarely have to pursue. They become the ones who are chosen. Let's begin. Most men have been trained to misread women. They think attraction is about saying the right thing, looking the right way, making the perfect move at the perfect time. So they focus on the surface. They try to be charming. They watch for signals in her words, her smile, the way she laughs at their jokes. And they miss the truth. Because a woman can laugh at your jokes and still feel nothing. She can hold your hand and still have her guard up. She can even sleep with you and never emotionally let you in. The real question isn't whether she's physically close to you. It's whether she feels emotionally safe with you. And the body doesn't lie. When a woman feels truly safe, truly seen, truly understood, her body language shifts in a very specific way. She opens up in places most people don't even think to notice. And the part of her body I'm talking about, it's not romantic, it's not seductive, it's raw, it's honest. And when she lets you touch it, it means something far more important than physical chemistry. It means she trusts you with her humanity. Let me explain. Trigger number 1, the neck and nape, the gateway to vulnerability. Let's start with the obvious one, because it sets the stage for everything else. The neck. Not the side of her face, not her shoulder. The back of her neck, the nape. Psychologically, the neck is one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body. It's where major arteries run. It's unprotected. It's exposed. And evolutionarily, turning your neck towards someone or letting them touch it is an act of submission and trust. When a woman leans her head forward and lets you gently touch the back of her neck, or when she turns her head slightly while sitting next to you and doesn't pull away when your hand rests there, she's giving you something profound. She's saying, I feel safe enough with you to lower my defenses. Most men don't even think about this. They're so focused on her eyes, her lips, her hips, that they completely overlook this quiet, powerful gesture. But here's what makes it even more telling. She won't let just anyone do this. She won't let someone she's unsure about. She won't allow it if she's still testing you, still watching to see if you're stable, still deciding whether you're emotionally mature enough to hold space for her. This kind of touch only happens when the emotional environment feels right. And that brings us to the question, what creates that environment? Trigger number 2, emotional steadiness, the invisible force that makes her relax. Here's what most people don't understand about attraction. It's not about excitement, it's about regulation. A woman can be excited by a man and still never truly open up. She can feel the chemistry, the tension, the thrill, and still keep her emotional walls intact. Because excitement isn't safety. And women don't soften for excitement, they soften for steadiness. When a woman feels like she's around someone who won't react emotionally to every shift in her mood, someone who doesn't need her approval, someone who can stay grounded even when she's testing or withdrawing or unsure, that's when her nervous system begins to relax. And when her nervous system relaxes, her body follows. This is why the nice guy who tries too hard doesn't get this kind of access. He's too eager, too reactive, too concerned with her approval. And on a subconscious level, she feels it. She feels his need, and need creates tension, not trust. But the man who can sit with silence, who doesn't rush to fill every gap in conversation, who doesn't need her to validate him or reassure him or explain herself, that man feels different. He feels like solid ground. And women are drawn to solid ground the way people are drawn to calm water after a storm. So when you think about the kind of touch I'm describing, the kind that signals deep trust, it doesn't happen because you made the right joke or wore the right cologne. It happens because you made her feel something rare, emotional safety. And emotional safety isn't something you perform. It's something you embody. It's the way you listen without interrupting, the way you hold eye contact without needing anything in return, the way you don't react when she pulls back because you're not dependent on her validation to feel whole. When a woman feels this steadiness in you, she stops performing. She stops managing your emotions. She stops wondering if you're going to crumble, chase, or cling. And that's when the walls come down. Trigger number 3, the hair. The ultimate test of trust and intimacy. Now we get to the core, the part that separates surface-level connection from real intimacy, her hair. Specifically, when she allows you to touch her hair in a non-performative, non-sexual way. When she lets you run your fingers through it. When she leans into your hand as you gently brush it back. When she lets her head rest against you and doesn't flinch when you touch the crown of her head. This is the signal, because hair is personal. It's intimate. It's tied to identity, femininity, self-image. Women spend time on their hair. They're conscious of it. They're protective of it. And when a woman lets you touch it freely, without stiffening, without adjusting, without self-consciousness, it means she's stopped performing for you. It means she's comfortable. She's present. She's not in her head anymore. And this only happens when she feels seen, not judged. Accepted, not evaluated. Held, not controlled. Let me be very clear. This isn't about making a move. This isn't about strategy. If you're thinking tactically, how do I get her to let me touch her hair? You've already missed the point. Because this moment doesn't happen when you try to create it. It happens when the emotional foundation is strong enough that it emerges naturally. It happens when you've stopped needing something from her and started offering something to her. Presence, curiosity, emotional clarity. And when that's in place, the body responds. She leans in. She softens. She allows herself to be touched in ways that aren't strategic or guarded. She becomes herself. And that's the deepest form of yes she can give you. So how does this show up in real life? Let's say you're sitting together. Maybe it's on a couch, maybe a park bench, maybe in the car. The conversation is relaxed. There's no agenda. You're not performing. You're not trying to impress her or steer the interaction somewhere. You're just there. And at some point, without thinking, she adjusts her hair. Or she leans her head to the side. Or she turns slightly and her neck is closer to you. Most men either don't notice or they notice and freeze, unsure if they're allowed to touch. But the man who understands this, he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't ask. He doesn't announce it. He just gently rests his hand on the back of her neck. Or he brushes her hair back softly. Not lingering, not grabbing, just present. And if she's ready, she won't pull away. She'll lean into it. Or she'll go quiet. Or she'll close her eyes for just a second. That's the confirmation. Not words, not permission. Just the body's honest response. And once that happens, everything shifts. Because now she knows on a level deeper than logic that you understand her, that you see her, that you're not rushing her or using her or performing for her. You're just with her. And that feeling is rarer than most men realize. Here's the truth that no one talks about. The men who get this kind of access aren't the most attractive. They're not the smoothest talkers. They're not the ones trying the hardest. They're the ones who've done the internal work. Because when you're grounded in yourself, when you're not looking for a woman to complete you, validate you, or fix the parts of you that feel broken, you show up differently. You're not needy. You're not performing. You're not scanning for approval. And women feel that. They feel the difference between a man who wants something from them and a man who's simply offering his presence. And the latter? That's magnetic. Because most people spend their entire lives performing, trying to be liked, trying to be chosen, trying to prove they're enough. But when you've stopped doing that, when you've accepted yourself fully and stopped outsourcing your sense of worth, you create a kind of emotional space that feels rare. And in that space, women relax. They soften. They let their guard down. Not because you convinced them, but because they felt safe. And safety, real safety, is what unlocks trust. If this resonates with you, I've put together a free guide that goes even deeper into the psychology of emotional attraction. It's called the Grounded Man Framework, and it walks you through the exact internal shifts that change how women respond to you. Not through tactics, not through scripts, but through becoming the kind of man women feel safe opening up to. You can grab it in the description below. No opt-in walls, no sales pitch, just real, practical insight. Look, here's the philosophy behind all of this. Attraction isn't something you create. It's something you allow. When you stop chasing, stop performing, stop trying to convince someone you're worthy, you create the conditions for real connection. And when a woman feels that in you, she stops guarding herself. She lets you in, not just physically, emotionally. And that's when the moments I've been describing start to happen naturally. The touch, the trust, the intimacy that doesn't need to be negotiated. It just is. So the next time you're with a woman, stop trying to read her words. Stop waiting for her to tell you how she feels. Watch her body. Watch how she moves around you. Watch whether she softens, whether she leans in, whether she lets you into her space in ways that feel unguarded. Because that's the real signal. And when you see it, you'll know. She's already chosen you. If this shifted something for you, hit subscribe. Drop a comment below and let me know what resonated. And remember, the strongest men don't chase. They become worth choosing. I'll see you in the next one.